Welcome, everyone. This is Mark and Linda in Northern New Jersey, and we started this course in March of this year, and now here we are at day 108. So tonight we'd like to reflect on what we've achieved in these 108 classes and what's ahead.
So we want to frame it a little bit by talking about two ways that we grow. One is what we call vertical growth, and that's where we deepen within ourselves, get more silent, see the change within. And the other is horizontal, where we reach out to others to share what we've learned. And that is actually also a very deepening experience because we get so much joy from doing that.
We don't always know that we've grown ourselves. Sometimes we're very sensitive, and people, even in the first few weeks of the course, were noticing how different they were, how different their life was becoming. They could see sometimes dramatic changes. But sometimes people like me are not really aware of what's going on. And so it takes a friend or a family member to say, you know, as a result of attending those meditation classes, you're different. And that's what's happened to me. Somebody said, you know, since March, you're different and I guess better. So that's always kind of a cool thing. After my first exposure to Sahaja Yoga, I had no idea I was different. And it was my mom who said, there's something different about you. So that is sometimes our vertical growth, our expansion, our awakening of our own powers.
And sometimes it's hard to know if we've changed, but I think if we sit and introspect and just ask ourselves, okay, compared to when I started this course, am I more silent when I'm meditating? Is it easier and quicker for me to get to that state of thoughtless awareness? And also, what kinds of changes are there in how I relate to other people? So that can be in our daily life, how we see our reactions being less. You have some good examples.
And sometimes you can tell that things are different because life seems different. That big obstacle at work suddenly, miraculously, was removed. Some other concern or thing that was in the attention, kind of itching at your attention, somehow it got cleared up and you're like, how did that happen? And you realize, I stopped being so obsessed about it. I stopped reacting and having a big view about it. And so then this force of divine love that we felt during these 108 days can act. And then we get to watch and see the fruits of letting the divine power solve things for us and not saying this is my problem and I'm going to fix it with my intelligence and my determination. So it's allowing ourselves to become thoughtless, effortless, and then watching what happens in our lives.
And you may have also experienced perhaps that being full now of these vibrations, when we meditate and we reach that connection at our sasar, that connection to the divine, that these divine vibrations start flowing within us and become something that emits from us. So when we are in conversation with others, in situations out in the world generally, we are emitting these positive vibrations and they do make a difference. And that is partly how things can work out for us too, is that sort of coming from us and people feel it. And so they react differently to us and things actually do work out. So we hope that you've been experiencing these things. We know some of you started back all the way in March when we began, and congratulations for coming all the way. We're so pleased that so many of you have been attending this course for so very long. And we have felt also as your instructors, the Sahaja Yogis, and all the ones who have helped as mentors and our tech team, all of us have, as Mark was saying, we've felt the change in ourselves as well, because these sessions are so full of vibrations, with so many of us attending, our full attention there, wanting all of us, each of us, wanting to grow. And this is what Shri Mataji says, that if we are wanting to change, that is the key. And we will keep changing. And that's something to look forward to too. And after the talk today, we're going to tell you about what's coming next in terms of our next course, but as an opportunity to keep growing vertically. But we also want to share a little bit about growing horizontally. And this is where you can share it with others, not just by being a better person, but also by literally giving them the experience of self-realization, which you are all perfectly capable of doing now. And you may ask, well, I'm not capable. I can't do this. I'm not good enough, but you are. And it's so simple. We want to just show you very quickly how just in everyday encounters, like let's say you're at a gas station, you're in the supermarket, or you're with a friend and you're telling them, oh, I do this meditation. It's helped me so much. Would you like to try it? So if they say yes, you can simply, like just we're going to do right now, and just so you can see how simple it is, just you can hold your hands out and ask them to do the same, and ask them to bring their attention inside. Take a deep breath. And just have the desire to get into a state of thoughtless awareness. And as you're doing this, you yourself take your attention to the top of your head. And if you're not sure it's there, you can put your hand there. And then you can ask this person, actually, I often like to put my hand on my heart first because it helps to anchor and make it heartfelt. So that can be a next step, is you can say, let's, put our hand on our heart, bring our attention inside. Just have the desire to have this experience today. And now let's bring our hand on top of our head. And if you're in a public place and this isn't possible, you don't have to do this part. You can just tell them to take their attention to the top of their head. But if you're in a private place, it does help, as you've seen us do so much, to say, take it to the top of your head, press down, and now raise up your hand and just be there. See what you feel. And see what you do feel now. And we can say, you can also say, as we always do, or often do, change hands. Sometimes you feel it more on one hand than on the other. Even if they don't feel anything, you can just say, do you feel more relaxed, more quiet inside? And then you can ask if they feel anything on their hands and how they feel generally. So just to show you, it's very simple. And we really encourage you to try it. It's very joy-giving too. You'll see.
You might notice how you enjoy it more than they do. That when you realize that this is the purest desire on earth, is to share your experience of that inner silence, that the state of inner silence for you becomes immense, becomes very powerful. We were visiting a bank a few weeks ago, and we sat with the bank employee at her desk, and she felt it. And we just sat there across from the desk from her. And it's that simple.
And pretty much anybody you talk to, if you say, do you have too many thoughts? Would you like to get out of those thoughts? And everybody feels that way, that, oh God, help, so it's, we know, such a common challenge these days. And this is such a simple solution. Is, of course, as you know, we never charge for the experience. So we wanted to share that with you and encourage you to be brave and try it. And also, as we're going to share with you about the new course, it's going to be starting from day one again. So it's a chance for you to bring your friends and family who might like to say, oh, I want to start from the beginning. So then, okay, here's a chance to do that.
And because in every class, as you know, we meditate, you'll enjoy it immensely. We've all enjoyed it immensely because any chance we get to meditate with a group of people is so enjoyable. And things that aren't moving, that aren't happening, there seems to be this extra strength, extra attention that purifies us when we meditate in a group. And the other thing that I've really learned and had reinforced in these 108 days is how Sahaja Yoga is completely without borders, without countries, without nationality, that people have joined this class from all over the world and been up in the middle of the night just to be with us. Okay. And I have made new friends in different countries. And you meditate with them, you check the state of their chakras, and you have all these new connections, new ways to expand the size of your heart.
Some of you started as beginners to Sahaja Yoga last March, and some of you actually had been already practicing Sahaja Yoga meditation when you joined this course. But I would wager to say that all of you have moved from where you started to somewhere farther along, and would ask you to please take note of that, take some comfort in that, and be proud of yourself for sticking with it. And in this way too, I would say that, when we begin with the 21 days again in mid-January, it's going to be, if you already went through those first 21 days, I guarantee you will feel something different when you do it again, because you will hear things differently, you will experience them more deeply. We may say similar things. We're going to have different presenters talk about we'll be changing up the presenters who talked about them last time. We'll have new musicians, live musicians as usual, but and even when you hear the talks of Shri Mataji a second time, you'll say, did I really hear that before? Because different things will come through because you're at a different place when you hear them next time.
So now's the time to go back to your journal, your first weeks in March or April, and see what you were writing about the experience. And I remember reading my journal when I was still quite new and laughing out loud at my immense bewilderment and confusion and not having any idea what was happening, except that I was really enjoying it and wanted more of it. But I was so lost in my complete lack of constructs of just feeling good in every cell of my being. And that to me is why I still do Sahaja Yoga, is it just feels so fulfilling, so good.
So now we're going to do the foot soak.
So now we're going to do a foot soak. So we've got our bowls ready in front of us. Dual foot soak.
We can vibrate the foot soak bowl. Put our feet in.
And now we can let our attention be completely in that state of effortlessness. Put our attention inside, or look at the photograph of Shri Mataji, which is on screen. Put our two hands towards the Mother Earth. Anything that is in the way of our attention, we'd like that to be absorbed into the Mother Earth, which is also represented by the salt in the water. You want the purest attention imaginable when we approach the raising of our own Kundalini, which is absolutely pure mothering energy within us. So now we can take our left hand, place it at the level of our Kundalini, and with the purest, most intense desire that we want to enter a state of meditation, we can raise our Kundalini. And we raise it again. And a third time. Just see if your attention is right with you doing it. Then right hand over to the left hip, and you do the Bandhan 7 times. And again, just notice your attention. Is it settled in the present moment? Now our hands are resting in our lap, the palms are up. We allow our attention to be with the attention of all the people in this Zoom room right now. Let's see if we can be at that collective space above all our thoughts, above the top of our head. And we sustain each other's attention. And what we know inside yoga is that however good we feel, we can make it feel even better. So we can take our left hand, place it on the right side of our abdomen, near the right hip. And we want the attention itself to be purifying. The right hand is out towards the photograph, left hand is on right Swadhisthana. And we use the power of our desire. We say, I want to have pure and clean attention. Now you take your left hand, place it on top of your head, raise it up, and see if you're completely in the present, completely silent, or is there still something in the way of your attention? There might still be a little bit of what we call left vashuddhi, preventing our attention from being completely clear. So we take our right hand and place it on the left side of our neck. And any kind of subtle psychological thing that's going on that stops us from enjoying being in this present moment with all these people meditating together, we say, I do not judge myself. I do not judge myself. If I am the pure spirit, I am not guilty. We can put our hands out, palms up, see what we're feeling in our hands. Sometimes we feel very strong sensations of cool or warm, or things happening in the fingers. Sometimes we don't feel anything. So just completely relax the attention. Just ask the question, what am I feeling? Now we can check with the right hand over the head, raise it up. See if there are any thoughts left, or is it completely silent? It's all of us together in silence. And if you've already felt some cool, you might notice it gets cooler and cooler as your awareness encompasses all this attention that is now together above the top of our head. So now let's just sit for another minute or two. Okay, and if you're ready, you can rinse your feet. I'll just introduce the video of Shri Mataji. Several of us had the privilege and the delirious joy of traveling in India with Shri Mataji. And we saw her practically every day, sometimes several times in the day, as we traveled throughout mostly the state of Maharashtra in India. And at times she would sit with us and talk to us as people who were dedicating ourselves to our own spiritual growth. And so in this talk, she reminds us of the essential basics that we do have to meditate every day. We do have to raise our Kundalini. And she basically challenges us to remember, why are we doing this? What is the reason that we would sit and meditate for 5 or 10 minutes every day with this photograph of Shri Mataji? And then she finally says, you have to really have your horizontal growth, that, give this love to as many people as possible. So we can sit with our hands out and enjoy this talk of Shri Mataji together.
It has happened so many times. And even if something goes wrong with my passport or anything because of negative forces, I use it for an advantage. So even if somebody is a negative person, use it for a positive thing. Now, example. I was going to America and I had sent my passport for visa. And my husband, who is so meticulous, had taken it. And they gave the visa for the last year. When I went to the airport, they said, "What? This is the visa for the last year." No, for the 1 year ahead. 1 year ahead they had given. So they said, "You can go next year, not this year. The visa is for next year." So I telephoned to my husband. That was time. It was a Sunday. He just got out of his bed. He ran up and down, poor fellow. He said, "How is it I didn't see?" I said, "You didn't see? What has happened is that you didn't see." The fellow who did it was quite speedy, I think, so he gave me one year ahead. So now better find out. I mean, this is what happens to the speedy people. They'll give you for 1 year ahead. That's another extreme positivity. Now, then as a result of his running up and down, they all got shattered. The Americans especially felt that, oh God, what a mistake it was. So they gave me visa for 5 years. So instead of feeling unhappy about the negativity and making miserable faces and making yourself miserable and me miserable with that, best is to laugh it out and use that negativity for your positivity. In the beginning only, it happened that once we were going to Nasik, and while going to Nasik, our car failed. And everybody said, "Mother, your car never fails, how it has failed?" I said, "Let it be. It's all right, it's very nice here. I can look around, I can see around and all that." They couldn't understand why I was so relaxed about it. So the car failed and it took about 1 hour. Now the people who were Sahajogis before never used to cure anybody, never used to look at anyone, never used to raise anybody's kundalini, all very frightened. But as I was not there, they felt very challenged because there's such a big crowd there. They didn't know what to do. So they said, "All right, we'll raise your kundalini." That's how they started doing it, and it's helping now, even now that you are doing it. Otherwise they would not touch it. So every disadvantage, every negativity is to be used for positivity. As I have told you before also, an example of a little cell going inside the Mother Earth, sees a big boulder there, goes around it, ties around it again and again and again, and uses it for further holding of the tree, for the support of the tree. That is what is wisdom. That is what is wisdom. And this wisdom comes through meditation, meditative method. So you must every day meditate and raise your kundalini, otherwise you cannot. I love you. I love you. Writing me 10 pages letters, which is impossible to read. Doing all kinds of things like that, and asking me questions morning till evening. Nothing is going to help you to understand me, or to understand yourself, or to understand Sahaja Yoga, or to grow in Sahaja Yoga. You may talk, discuss, do what you like. To understand Sahaja Yoga is to keep very happy faces, happiness within yourself, joy within yourself. Try to see the essence of joy in everything. Don't try to criticize, make yourself miserable. But to raise your kundalini every morning religiously, every morning, every night, raise your kundalini. Kundalini is like the nourishment, the water of life for the growth of your inner being. If you do not meditate, if you do not know how to raise your Kundalini, you better try to learn. Negative people always avoid that, because then they feel burnings, they feel this. Face it up for a while. Doesn't matter. Face it up, clear out yourself and see that you raise your own Kundalini. Don't blame your husband, don't blame your wife, don't blame your children, don't blame your atmosphere, nothing of the kind. You can go in the jungles every day. You can go anywhere you want to. If you want to do it, you can do it. But people must understand that now we are saints, and saints have to do that. You will be surprised if you start meditating, most of your problems will disappear, because all physical problems will be looked after by God. All material problems will be looked after Him. All other problems, family problems will be looked after Him. But the main problem is how to make you do it. It's like once you eat your food, your tongue can taste it, it gets the saliva, it goes down, it's all looked after. It goes down properly, down below, it is all, the juices are secreted, they know that the food is coming, it is digested in different parts, as it is, it's all built in. But you must put it in the mouth. And this is what is the mechanism of Sahaja Yoga is, that you must meditate and raise your Kundalini in so many ways, in so many styles, in so many angles. I have said this again and again and again and again. But that's what we do not know. And know your purpose. You must know your purpose. Sitting down here, I know about everything about everyone. I may look very simple. It's not so. That's why I have to tell you that you don't consider yourself to be endowed with some sort of a special power as a leader. Only that you have the power through your mother, which you have to assert. So whatever I am doing is the mother who is doing it. And when you do that, you'll be amazed that whatever you want will be sensible. Whatever you'll ask for, it will be sensible. Sensible means which is related to Sahaja Yoga. And whatever you do will be sensible. All your dignity, everything will pile up together. But foremost thing, and the most important, at any cost you must meditate. This is what I have to now tell to our Indians also, but for you it is very important, because now you are returning back to the real place. Like yesterday somebody said to me, some Westerner said, "Mother, they are talking about why you left Vaikuntha and came to this India. It's all right, but we would say, why did you leave this India and came to us?" Then the answer was there, that the God has become mad about the saints because of the saints and their company. But the saints have to be saints, otherwise they become troublesome to me. Even if I go to lunatic asylum, nothing will happen to me. If I go to, say, to a cemetery, nothing will happen to me. But if a saint catches even a slightest thing, that troubles me, tortures me. Not outwardly maybe, but inside. Because I have given you place in my heart, in my being. You circulate in my being. That is how I know about it. So if you really grow better, if you improve better, it will be a thing of joy for you and the greatest joy for me as well. That's all I want, that you should grow. Nothing else. Nothing else. Now, one more assurance I want to give you, that we are going to start certain projects in India. Now the time has come. We have acquired some land definitely now. We are going to work out some projects. As soon as I settle down in India, you will start showing the manifestation of that. And maybe this kind of tour I may not be able to do for after few years. But then you yourself will be able to conduct these tours in your own country, go around, because this is a training period where you will learn how to do this kind of thing. Of course, in your country it's rather difficult to get such people, but how to contact. I started with one person. So I'm just a lady, housewife, and if I could do it, why not you?
Let's meditate together for a minute or two. Absorb the words of Shri Mataji.
Just let the thoughts come in. Let them just move, come and go. Don't fight them. Just be in that state of watching and seeing if you become silent.
Let's be completely at our sasvara. We can bring our hand up and see, taking full advantage of our collective attention and strong desire. This talk of Shri Mataji is really like a commencement talk that is so fitting at the end of our course. That in that talk, it's the end of that India tour, and she's sending off the Western Sahaja yogis to go back to the West and to continue on in the same vein as they learned in India. So we are also wishing all of you with that same love and care, to take to heart Shri Mataji's words. It's a simple message. Actually meditate, be happy, be positive, and grow. So we can all try to do that to the best of our ability. So we want to show you something about the new course. And maybe we can bring the PowerPoint on to show you that. So you are all invited to come January 14th to February 3rd. That's 21 days in a row. We're going to be intensive again, and hope you'll come along for the ride. I wanted to say too, we didn't mention this earlier, that we will be turning to all of you to inspire the new people and to tell them how it's been for you and how you've come along. So I hope you will enjoy that and be ready to help. So please tell everyone, this is our graphic, and our information about the new course looks like this. And we're going to post it in our WhatsApp group, so you'll be able to share it with people easily. And just for a minute, we'd like to take you to this website because we're going to be housed in the US sahajayoga.org website for the new year.
You can send people to this website and they can instantly register through Eventbrite, and then they'll be part of the cohort of people starting in January 2023.
So, Karan, if you would hover over that register button, they'll see that that's live. Oh, maybe not. Okay, never mind. But anyway, if you click on it, you'll get to Eventbrite. And then if you scroll down, you can see there's all the information about the course, the details of the timing, same time, same Zoom channel. So easy for all of you. You know exactly where to come. There's, keep going, there's information about the course, which you're familiar with. It's the same format we're going to be using. Again, here you can register down here. You are going to stay in your current WhatsApp groups. But when new people join, we'll be creating new WhatsApp groups we already have for them to enter.
And also, below the register button, you notice something extremely exciting. We're going to do 2 online courses at the same time in January. So on the same days, but at a different time, will be this course completely in Espanol, in Spanish. So if you know friends, and we all have some friends who either have relatives or themselves that would be very comfortable meditating with the guidance and subtitles and all those things in Spanish, then they can register right from this page into the Spanish language version of the 21 days, 7 days a week.
Yeah, they've translated all of our materials into Spanish. So it's the same course, but in Spanish. Different presenters, of course. So then go a little further down. And this is where in January, you'll find all the joining links and the YouTube recordings. And the recordings will be posted if you keep going there, and the resources, the handouts will be there. And then all the way towards the bottom, there are some links where you can get to other classes. And also that very last link also centers around the world if you want to know where they are. If you're traveling, you can find them, or within anywhere in the world. But then the last link there, we're going to click on it because that is our current course. So you'll always be able to get back to the recordings from this year, the handouts, all of everything that we've been doing this year. So that will always be there. It's not going away. You can always refer to it. So
we look forward to meeting you all in the foot soaks that are continuing, and also especially January 14th in the new year.
Yeah, so if you go back to the PowerPoint, we are going to be continuing the Monday, Wednesday, Friday foot soaks all the way through to when the new course begins. During that time, we'll suspend the foot soaks, but we'll be having the 21 days in a row. Then we'll go back to our 21-day program with foot soaks as before. And just one more thing we want to mention is that if you would like to attend this advanced seminar in Florida, they're still registering people. It's not too late, so let us know if you want to.
They said that the deadline is December 10th.
Yeah,
that's so they can arrange how much food to provide and things like that.
All right, so now it's time for our workshops. So I hope you'll all stay and go into the breakout rooms. If you have any questions about what we were showing earlier about how to give self-realization to someone else, please bring that up in the breakout room if you'd like to. Otherwise, as you know, you're open to do any kind of workshop, vibration workshop, or ask questions. So see you there in the workshops. See you at the foot soaks, and have a great new year.
Thank all of you for giving us so much joy this year.
Yes, and we want to thank our behind the scenes folks, our tech team. You know, we are not moving these PowerPoints ourselves. We have a team of wonderful people arranging the breakout rooms, running the PowerPoints, the videos, and organizing everything. So thank you so much to all of you. So, all right, all the best to everyone.
So it's no longer been highlighted. So you want to keep your video on?